Grant, thank you for coming
No,
here.
hey, my pleasure, man. I am so honored that I can come
to Abu Dhabi, man.
I mean, I can come to Abu Dhabi and have friends immediately. This is our mission. Like, I tell my wife all the time, I said, she's like, what do you want to be known for? I said, I want the kids and you and us to be able to go anywhere and say we made friends all over the world. So the fact that you even know me is amazing. How does money make your life easier? Who would you help? I want to do what I told my mom I would do. I am going to help millions and millions and millions of people, and I want you to be one of them.
This is my guy right here, man. God bless you, bro.
I want to help you and help as many people as possible become financially prosperous, millionaires, even super rich.
How can you get an appointment when a customer is completely uncertain about their money? How can you close the deal when somebody's uncertain about their money?
I'm not trying to impress you with what I've accomplished in my life or how much I know. The reality is what I have created financially in my life is very simple, and that is why it will work for you.
Then you got to figure out how to find that frequency and that vibration, and people are like, dude, I want to send some money there. Not just noise. Every one of you in the room, including myself, are responsible for that condition. You have the vehicle.
That's what I mean about create the life you want, man, so you can have not balance, but life.
Grant Cardone, he joins me now. He's an international sales expert and the author of the 10X Rule, the only difference between success and failure.
Yeah, look, I want to know what you stand for as a leader. I want to know that you stand for the right thing, whether it's popular or not.
Be relentless, be strong, know everything. 10X!
Your content has helped a lot of people that you don't even know, I'm pretty sure about, and you're going on this global tour. What's the goal of this global tour? What's behind it?
One is we were just in Bucharest, right? And probably, I don't know, 70, 80% of the audience did not know who I was.
No, I can't believe that.
So there was 4,200 people there, maybe 800 of them knew who I was. I said, who knows me who doesn't know me? I mean, almost every hand went up. So that's because I haven't done a good job marketing into Bucharest. That's a little tiny market, I guess 3 or 4 million people, but they're important people.
Yes.
Just like all people on this planet are important. If you have a mission,
yes.
If your mission's important, then it's important that I take responsibility that everybody gets to know me and that message.
Sure.
And that means I need to risk time, energy, money, resources, and I need to risk that people won't like me.
Exactly.
So the mission of the 10X tour, Dubai wasn't on the calendar, but this is such an important region in my mind to the world. Like I think that you can see when I landed here, literally put my feet on the ground, it's probably midnight. As soon as my feet touched the ground, I'm like, this is a really important place. I could feel this something, and we've been here 3 or 4 days now. We added this because I just know in the spirit of who I am that this is an important region. It's important in my career to be here. We leave here, go to Singapore, Malaysia, and we just want to get to know people and share my message and see if we can make friends along the way.
And it's not going to be your last time for sure.
I never do anything one time, ever.
Perfect.
Anything worth doing is worth repeating over and over and over again.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
And
in fact, we're coming back in November for sure, if not sooner.
What's your advice to any entrepreneur who's starting out? So a lot of the UAE government are pushing for entrepreneurship, and it's greater more than ever right now. It's very important in terms of building the economy. Less reliance on government, more on small businesses. Mm-hmm. So what's your advice to any entrepreneur starting out?
I would strongly advise that the entrepreneur think more in terms of being a business.
Yes.
Okay, or possibly just look up the word entrepreneur. Okay. I think it's become very fashionable and trendy for people to I'm an entrepreneur. This term didn't exist in such a fashionable way even 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes.
So now you hear the two terms entrepreneur thrown around a lot and influencer. Mm-hmm. I would strongly suggest that people look up the word entrepreneur. Entrepreneur does not mean someone that works by themselves. It doesn't mean somebody that works at home. It doesn't mean somebody that does not go into debt. It doesn't mean somebody that doesn't spend money. It actually means someone that spends money, puts money and time at risk in order to get more time and money. And so I see a lot of people that are entrepreneurs that are not investing time and money. And by definition, you can't be an entrepreneur if you're not investing time and money. Take it to another level. You could study a successful businessman if you wanted to, but it would be better to study successful companies. What are they doing? What are the corporations and the multinationals doing? How much money do they spend, right? How many people are on their payroll? Like tremendous risk. Look at the building. Look at the $65 billion. We were just at a bank, and I said, "What's the spin right now in this market?" And he's like, "Well, one island's $65 billion. That is a commitment." So if you're at home, you're an entrepreneur, you're a small business startup, you're not spending time and money, don't call yourself an entrepreneur, because by definition, you're not. I'm going to be back here in November, and there's going to be people that will not spend the money because they don't have the money. That's what they're saying. I don't have the money, so I can't spend it to come spend a couple days with me.
There's so many ways to get the money.
Yeah, exactly. So an entrepreneur says, hey, entrepreneurs by definition don't make excuses, okay? You want to come to the growth conference, you figure out how to come.
And it's an excuse that I shouldn't say to myself.
And like if you make excuses, that's one thing, but don't make excuses and become a liar.
Exactly.
You know, like be honest, dude, at least say, look, I made an excuse, I didn't come to the deal, didn't make it work. Don't be, I make excuses and I lie to myself, right? So
exactly.
The entrepreneur needs to get brutally honest with themselves and with their family and get participation from the family unit so that you don't have, if I want to take risk and I want to invest time and money and I want to go work and I want to go, maybe I need to work 15 hours a day. I can't have my wife saying, well, why do you work so much? And why don't you give me attention? I don't know if that happens here. I imagine it does.
It does. Because we're really family oriented more than other parts of the world.
Yeah.
You know, so as you said, you need to really push hard for your family to understand that you're gonna be away. You're gonna have to put in all this time.
And the kids need to know, or you need to create a lifestyle where I can bring the kids with me. Our kids are with us.
Yeah.
So,
which is the best thing you did. Yeah, they're going on this entrepreneurial adventure with you.
Yeah, and they see Papa work.
Yeah.
You know, I've been on what most Americans will come here and they're going to be at the pool and they're going to be in the ocean and they're going to be going. I've been working the whole time.
What do they think of Dubai and Abu Dhabi? Your kids?
They love it, man. Okay, they're going to love it even more because tomorrow I'm going to introduce them to camel riding and deserts,
safaris.
And the safari and the hot air balloon, and tomorrow will be our first kind of kickback day.
Yes, it's really worth it.
And they love the hotel that we're staying at. So we're at the Burj. So they walked in, they're like, oh my God, like a palace, right? Like it's, you know, the experience my kids are getting because of my ability or willingness, maybe not my ability, but my willingness to, again, invest time and money, precious time and money, to travel around the world. Well, I could be back in Miami just conducting business like I do every day. But instead, you know, investing that time and money to bring them on an educational trip, a worldwide educational trip, I think is more beneficial to them than even going to school.
Exactly. They'll get exposed to stuff they would never have been exposed to at school.
In books, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Grant, and I want to skip a question and go ahead.
Man, don't skip it, man. That had to be a good question. Is this one right here?
We'll get to it.
Oh, okay.
So
that'll keep you guys on the cliff right there.
It's a really good question.
Okay.
So you talked.
I tell you what, if anybody can figure out what that question is, if you post it in comments, I will personally pay. What's a good number?
In dirhams.
$100 in US.
And I'll tell you in dirhams, and then I'll tell you in US.
How much in dirhams?
In dirhams, then dirhams 1,000.
I'll pay 1,000 dirhams.
$300.
Okay, I'll pay 1,000 dirhams.
Okay. If they guess the question.
If you can guess it, and if this started, what have we been, 12 minutes or something?
Yeah.
If this started, you have to give this answer. You'll just have to go back and look at the meter, right? So,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know, figure it out.
All right. Then we'll get.
It's got to be exact though, because I'm not going to give it to you just for getting close.
It's a long question as well.
Good.
So you talked about businesses, and you've seen big businesses, and you said entrepreneurs have to study businesses, not study a single person working hand in hand.
Well, let me just say that what I'm saying about that is I made the mistake in my life of studying people that appeared to be successful.
A lot of people are like that.
They appeared to be successful. You know, today in the times that we live in, you know, you can go on Instagram and it looks like everybody owns a Ferrari, everybody has a Rolls Royce, everybody looks like they're having the best day of their life. That's not studying, that's watching. I want to study people. Or even at conferences, you can go to a conference and watch somebody on stage, and he or she could present to like they're so successful, but if you really get behind the scenes, you'll find out there is no success there. It's just a lot of talking. And so I would just strongly suggest to people to pick a handful of people and make sure those people are actually doing, not just saying. You know, that they're not talking about success. They're actually doing success every day.
And how would you know what they're doing?
Well, you would see it in their statistics, right? Like there's some things you can't fake.
Yeah.
You can't fake somebody. We're buying $250 million worth of real estate this month with my money. Hard to fake that. Okay, it's a great Instagram post, by the way, but you can't fake it. There's going to be a loan. There's going to be a building. There's going to be, you know, acres and acres of land. There's going to be people living there. Like you just can't fake it. So there's a lot of things you can fake. You can make a nice little quote, put it on Instagram. People look at it like that's the truth, you know. And the public is confused with a lot of what appears to be the truth that's not.
True.
And so I would just tell people, study people that have success, that are doing it now. Also, the second thing I would say is make sure that where you're getting your advice from them lines up with where you need advice, right? So Warren Buffett, you know, he's at the tail. He's at the tail of his. He's probably here, right? So here he was doing different things than he's doing here. He talks about investing in stocks, but he actually doesn't do it. He doesn't buy stocks. He buys companies.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to people. Steve Jobs right here was one of the most aggressive business people that this planet's ever seen. I mean, he was barbarian aggressive. So was Bill Gates. But if you talk to Bill Gates today, Bill and Steve's not alive obviously, but Bill Gates today saying, dude, I'm giving all my money away. Money doesn't matter. That's not what he was saying right here. So people take what he's saying here at the end of the cycle. When they're at the beginning of the cycle and they try to, you got to know where that data's coming from.
That's a very important point because exactly the advice, someone could change, you know, after he accumulates an amount of wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll do different things. He'll start playing maybe small.
Yeah.
He won't take as many risks as before.
Exactly.
And what you're advocating is you should take risks with time and money and debt so you could get to your goal in the beginning.
Yeah, I told a friend of mine, Alex,
Yeah.
who's he's a young guy, 30 years old, making, what's he make, $2 or $3 million a year? And I said, where are you getting your financial advice? He's like, I get it from my dad. I said, dude, wrong place. Wrong place.
Yes.
Okay, your dad's telling you to save money?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he is. You got a retirement account? Yeah. I said, your dad did that? You got mutual funds? Yeah, I did that. I said, dude, you can't do that. You cannot, never take advice from a millionaire. Never take advice from a millionaire. They only have enough money to be scared and not enough money to go to the next level.
Yes. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree, Grant. And we get to how do you build a business with a strong base of operations? You talk a lot about sales and marketing, but how do we do it that sales and marketing go into a strong base of operations and process? How do you go? What advice would you give an entrepreneur to build that strong?
You need a strong culture. You have to have a strong culture, and the culture starts with the leadership, right? So, if I'm trying to teach, and this is what happens in big companies and causes big companies to fail, is the CEO often is not really connected to what's happening on the ground. And it's one of the reasons we've been so successful in America, crowdfunding against conglomerates. Culture is the leadership calls out the people around them and keeps everybody sharp.
Exactly.
Or you have a culture where everybody's asleep.
Exactly.
You have culture either way. It's like, what culture do you want? Do you want warriors and fighters and acquirers and people that are hungry and never satisfied? Or do you have a culture? We just left the meeting and they're like, we got problems here. People are satisfied and not working hard enough. There's a handful of people that are extremely aggressive here, but for the most part, the woman told me, most people are just making excuses, not going to the next level, not taking the action, saying this or that about this or that. That's the reason why this or that is this or that, right? And so you got to build a culture of no excuses. Means you got to hire people and get rid of people. We met with some real estate agents yesterday. They hired 1,000 salespeople for this project they're doing. $10 billion worth of real estate to sell. They want me to sell it all. I said, yeah, I can do that. So,
I'm sure.
And 1,000 salespeople, and now they're down to a couple hundred. I said, dude, you don't have you have to get a strong culture. He's like, we don't have any culture. I said, oh yeah, you do. You onboard people, and then you don't train them and educate them and make sure that they're excited and keep with them. You can't go to an event for 3 days, get excited, and think it's going to last 3 weeks later. It's not. That's got to be instilled into the culture. You know, you look around these buildings, the way these buildings, there's reinforced steel, there's concrete, there's glass, there's blue, like something's holding that thing together. The Burj where I'm staying, it's holding it together long after it's built. And that's what has to happen with management and ownership.
So the most important thing, in your opinion, is having a strong base of culture. You need to have strong people who are willing to go and do the right work.
Look, the camel needs water, right? Yes. So, I mean, I need to know. It's, you know, your holiday right now.
Yes.
Is it a holiday?
It's not a holiday,
no.
But we just fast.
You fast. So, but you got to know that there's an end to it.
Yes, exactly.
Otherwise, you'd be like, how long can I go, right?
Yeah.
Tonight you get to eat at what, 7?
At 7, exactly.
So,
6:50,
so you're like, because if it went forever, so that's a culture, right?
Exactly.
And there's rules, and there's a moral code. Well, that same thing, that moral code happens at work. And there either is a moral code or there's a loose moral code, but it's a moral code either way.
Sure.
And in my environment, what happens in our environment, the reason we're growing is because the code of ethics is we push, we don't want lazy around us. We have a lot of fun, okay? But when we're pushing to get the deal done, and that starts with the leadership. You know, here I am, 4 days we've been here. I haven't been to the ocean yet. You know, I haven't done the little things that go across the ocean. What are those called?
jet skis.
The jet skis.
Yeah.
I haven't jumped out of the plane, even though everybody's. And by the way, I'd love to skydive, and I probably will come back and skydive. But I haven't done that because the region's asking something of me, right? And if I'm like, I'm too busy, I'm riding camels today. Great experience, and I will have it. But I have to set priorities in my life. The people around me know that I'm going to take the work before I'm going to take the leisure, yeah.
Grant.
So pay the price today, right?
Pay the price.
And I can pay any price tomorrow.
Exactly. That's a very good quote.
Yeah.
Now we'll get to the $1 million question.
Get him a pillow. Don't cut that out, Eddie. Keep that in there. Hey, by the way, by now you guys should have already been able to, the $300 question, the 1,000.
Yes, 1,000 dirhams.
Dirhams?
Yes,
Dirhams?
yes.
Is it dirhams?
Dirhams, yes.
Dirhams.
Yes.
I think I have it on me too, by the way.
Really?
So you should have
already
already posted in comments what that question is, right? Is it coming up now?
It's coming up.
Is it big?
It's big.
Okay. Or you want to push it off a little while longer and give the audience?
No, I'm ready.
What is this? Going to be on YouTube or where?
It's going to be on YouTube, on Instagram.
I need you to post it in comments. By the way, I need you guys to follow me. I got it all here. Let me see. What is this?
This is a 5.
5. I got 20 of these. No. I have 300. How much am I paying?
You need
1,000. Oh my God! I need 200 of these.
Yes, exactly.
Excuse me. My math is bad when I got to convert, but I got it here. I probably got it right here. I don't know. If not, I'll get it.
200 is the last one. So
Yeah,
we're ready.
I'm ready, Freddie.
Yes. The question is.
Post in comments though, and you got to follow me on the YouTube.
Grant Cardone.
Okay.
Grant, you've built a massive following and a great personal brand. What advice would you give the entrepreneur who wants to start his presence online?
Yeah.
And how can he or she 10x it?
Okay, so the game here is you got to be there every day. It's going to go back to the culture, the work ethic. Like if you think you're going to build a brand because you create one great video, it ain't going to happen.
So you need to create a lot of content.
One masterpiece. Somebody said the other day, I said, you post that video? He's like, it's not ready yet. I said, you know what? A video posted's better than a video that's perfect.
True.
Post the video. I don't need it to be perfect. Nobody's asking for perfect. Okay, so this is why TVs are dying. Because the production on a TV show takes so long that by the time the TV show comes out, everybody's lost interest in it and they're doing something else. Exactly. I mean, we have viewership on some of our channels, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, or Twitter, or LinkedIn, or Snapchat. We have viewership higher than some TV channels in America that spent billions of dollars. While they're planning, writing scripts, we're producing content.
You're just broadcasting, you know?
We broadcast, okay? And then so you can't, one masterpiece will not beat 10,000 pieces of content. So number one. Number two, you need to post frequently enough to where you almost annoy your audience. Okay, you actually have to get them through the annoying part. Like, well, he posted too much. He's posted too much. You need to post just a little bit more, so they're like, oh wow, this guy's. I can trust him now. On the other side of the annoying is I can trust him to post. Okay. Then the third thing is you got to keep the content entertaining and interesting. So you're not going to know how to do that because you post once or twice. And whatever you're doing this year, probably 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, you're going to look back and say, golly, that was garbage. It's going to change, I promise you. So, I've posted, 6,000 videos on YouTube. Wow. I don't know what I posted on Instagram, a bunch. A couple thousand posts on Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. So just so everybody knows, there is no schedule. There's no plan. There's a commitment, not a plan. So the commitment is, hey, we are going to tell the world, show the world what we're doing. Now, whether that's me on my jet or me just buying a new car or me with my family, I've been ridiculed for all those things. He's using his kids for Instagram. I said, I didn't bring my kid to the live show. Okay, my kid walked in while I was doing a show at 9 o'clock at night because she woke up. I'm not going to stop the show because my kid walks in my life any more than I'm going to stop my life because my kid walks into my life.
And that's how the reality is. It's integrated. Everything's integrated.
Yeah, and then people get to meet me,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So we were at the Kentucky Derby. You know what the Kentucky Derby is? It's a big horse race, 160,000 people.
Wow.
It's huge.
Wow.
And there was a very wealthy family there. The guy's worth $7 or $8 billion. They had heard about us. We'd flown in on our plane. He owns 4 planes. I own 1. The wife says to my wife, because they saw our Instagram, they're like, oh, you're showing you guys on the plane? And my wife's like, well, yeah. And she's like, well, don't you think that's a little like obnoxious? She's wearing, okay, check this out. She's got a brooch on her, like this big, had to be, I don't know, $3 or $4 million.
Wow.
So you see, they're willing to show off for their friends, but then they close the curtain and nobody can see how they got there. We don't want to do that. We want to show people our struggle and we want to show them the successes while we get there. So I never had anybody to help me when I was 10 years old. 15, nobody was helping me. 20, nobody was helping me. 25, nobody was helping me. 30 years old, I'm like, can somebody tell me how to do this? And nobody was there. And I just promised myself that if I ever made it, and if I ever had a way to show the world that how to be successful, I would. Social media is the way I can show the world. And so if you're interested in influencing, branding, marketing, these social networks, we were just talking to a bank. I'm like, you guys are not utilizing these distribution channels that are grooved in. And you can drop the right content dropped in. It could be phenomenal for the right person showing up every day, delivering interesting and varying content, and to an audience that says, hey, I can trust that they're going to deliver something interesting and educational.
So banks should go more on social media, should actually showcase their content in a
Food
way.
and beverage,
Yes.
tourism,
Yes.
travel industry, finance. Finance is missing the whole thing. I was just at the Ministry of Finance, right? And I was talking to some bankers, and I'm like, education, it's going there. It's going there. Your audience is going there now. We have audience. I'm 61 years old. I have people follow me. They're 14
You
years
don't
old.
look like you're 60.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, thank you. So I got people 14 years old following my channel. Like I had a parent say the other day, please grant Mr. Uncle G, please don't curse because my 10-year-old is watching the channel.
Yeah.
I said, damn it. So you gotta know that these channels are enormous opportunity, and they provide tremendous disadvantage for these big conglomerates and multinationals. These big giant companies just do not get it. I bought a jet from Gulfstream maybe a year and a half ago, and I said, guys, I should do your social media, your content marketing, and they're like, we don't think our buyer's there. I said, I just wrote you a check for a plane.
And how'd you find out about them? Through social media?
Well, I didn't find out about him. I found out about Gulfstream because I heard Kanye talking about, singing about a Gulfstream, right?
Yeah.
But they don't believe their customers there. I'm like, well, guys, what do you mean the customer's not there? I just bought a plane from you, and I'm on social media every day. Exactly. We buy a lot of real estate in America. I had a bank, didn't want to do a deal with me because of my social media presence. They're like, you're just too out there.
That's better for them, actually.
It's better for me, and it's better for everybody watching, okay? It's better for them, but they don't get it.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's these ancient companies. They're not even ancient. They're 50, 60 years old that are going to be dead because they're not embracing the fact that we now have TV channels where we can distribute content. And if you're a person that has nothing to hide, you deliver a great product, you take care of your customer and your investors, which is what we do. Look, you can't be on social media as transparent as I am and have one thing out of place. So like everything I do and believe in is put out online. You can't do that every day. A criminal cannot. Will be terrified of social media because if you show me all the little parts of your life, I'm gonna see where the crimes are. So you can really, if you really watch somebody. Now, a lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll only show you this piece. If you saw the other pieces, then you'd see the whole story.
But you show everything, every aspect.
There's nothing. I got audited by the IRS. I put it on Facebook. I'm like, guys, I'm getting audited by the IRS. I should be able to tell you in 5 weeks what happened. Okay, we got money back because of the audit.
Congratulations.
I had a person give me a billionaire gave me $20 million. They started making a bunch of noise. I wrote them a check back for $20 million. Take your money back. I mean, you can do that. You can do that on Instagram. Show somebody last month we distributed $2 million worth of distributions to our investors. I showed me writing checks, sending them out to investors. Very powerful when you actually get to see somebody, money coming in and money going out.
Comes back to your point that you're being authentic. People are actually seeing what you're doing. And regarding what you said about the TV channels, our online TV channels, I've noticed that you've got different channels for adults, for teenagers, for finance, for real estate. You're everywhere. And I think a lot
And
of
now I'm here.
And now you're here.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome. So maybe we'll make a show here.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
Arabic
I'd love to do a reality. You know what I would like to show? I would like to do, if they would let me do it, the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
Is I would come in, I would take over a business here, okay? We would shoot it in 2 days, and I would show, or maybe some of these complexes they're having trouble selling. I would just come in, ride in on my white stallion with my robe, drop into the region.
And your غطرة.
Yeah.
And your عقال.
Yeah. And drop in here and show people that, you know what, if you quit making excuses, you could actually get the job done and make that extra sale. I'd love to do that as long as we could just keep it tight.
Exactly.
And not take 6 months to shoot it.
Exactly. If you would create the show, what time would you need? How much time would you need to fix? I know it depends per business.
I need. You don't need to fix the business. You need to show the people in the business it can be fixed.
Exactly.
So all I need is to show somebody results, right? So when a company or the people in a company are not getting results, they start thinking this isn't going to work, and then they lose their confidence. Sometimes I just got to move the pin. Oh wow, it can be moved, right? And then people are like, okay, if he moved it, I can move it. So sometimes we just got to come in and tweak something, change something a little bit, and have somebody win, and then one win turns into two.
Show them a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
And then they'll just take that path. Yeah. Grant, you're a real estate superstar. We know Cardone Capital has been very successful in the US. Are there any plans for you to expand your portfolio here or abroad or somewhere?
Actually, some of the meetings that we had today were about how does Cardone Capital allow family funds and even banks to start playing in the U.S. with this specific type of asset that we build there in the United States. It's not built here. It's not built in South America. It's not built anywhere in Europe. There's a trend in the United States where people are not seeking ownership of where they live anymore. They want to use where they live and maybe be more mobile, particularly in the older segment of the population, not the millennial.
Yeah.
The millennial has almost no interest in owning anything. And the baby boomer, people, probably 55 and older, they have less and less every day. They've already owned stuff. They're like, I just want to live and I want to travel. So we were just having a meeting about how we could bring the opportunities that we're providing at Cardone Capital to the region.
And
if you want a 15% return.
Yes, exactly.
And a check every month.
Yeah.
So without putting your money at risk, we're buying long-term assets that we hope we never sell, and we return capital back to the investor somewhere between 7 and 10 years, and we still own the product and it still cash flows.
And
without us having to find a buyer, right? So like right now, the supply problem here is, they're bringing more supply on, and if I bought something and I want to sell it, I'm having to compete with the other supply. The only way for me to get out is to sell. Well, we're buying assets that people live in and pay us every month to live in them. Phenomenal, beautiful assets that we will, if we sell, we'll probably sell to the wealthiest institutions on the planet that always have money.
As part of a portfolio.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right, the real estate demand is a bit lower and there's a lot of supply happening in this area, which was not like this the past maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So I like the strategy you use. You're like, we're going to find the right places where there's more, a lot of people will be staying, different buildings, different apartments, and we're going to strategize those and sell them and rent them out as part of the...
Yeah, we're going to buy them.
Yes.
And I think you call it to let. To let?
To let, yes.
Yeah, to let. Yes. And these are 10 to 14, 15 month to let leases. And we collect the cash. We provide these people with a great place to live. These are beautiful facilities, as nice as some of the facilities I'm staying at, without being a hotel. So it's not a hotel. And it's safe, secure, $3 and $4 million swimming pool, secure, social. You got a whole environment you live around, community. People, a community, built-in community. Yeah. And it returns a tremendous cash flow to the investor, and then we wait for either somebody to come overpay us, because the only way we're going to sell it is if we're overpaid. I mean, we just make it completely obvious. Overpay me and I'll sell it. Until then, we'll keep it.
We'll just keep the cash flow.
Keep the cash flow, exactly.
Yeah. Grant, this is a very important question, but to ask you, if you started right now at zero, no assets, no connections, what are the 3 things you would do to build your business career?
Man, I would tap into all the things that I know. I mean, if you took everything away from me right now, the things that are most valuable to me, you can't take away. So you take the plane away, you take the money away, take the real estate the portfolio away. 3 years from now, I'll be bigger than I was, because now I have courage. Like, if you guys can just find your courage, man, And that's a muscle. You got to go build a muscle of courage. I have courage. Nobody can take that away from me. You can't steal it from me. You can't beat it out of me. I have belief now. I know what I can do now. Once you know what you can do, then you can do it a second time. And that's why so many people can go bankrupt and then come right back, because they know now. The first time you do it, you don't know. The second time you do it, you're like, I think maybe. The third and fourth time, you're like, I know for sure I can do this. So that's why I say success is so important. Success is my duty, responsibility, and obligation to myself. Forget my family for a second. I need success for me, to feel good about me so I can be good with my family. And I think a lot of people are trying to do their life without having success be part of it. Success is part of my mental, I think success actually is the best medication for my mental health. Because when I'm successful, dude, I'm happy. I'm a good father. I'm a good dad. A good husband. I'm not a great husband, but I could be better right now. It's Mother's Day, right? So I should have. I forgot, man. I'm like, not very good at that. So, yeah, just it's vital that people are successful. That's what I would tell people, man. You need to make it a priority. You need to make it as important as everything else that's important to you in your life.
Grant, thank you so much. And before we close, this is for you, Grant.
Oh my God, man! Thank you. You guys are so awesome, man.
Sutter Media, thank you for coming.
Oh, my friend, thank you.
And really appreciate having you. This is Grant in Arabic, Grant Cardone.
Wow.
So let's take a photo.
Let's do it.